It's all very well talking about stations, we love them, but today we're going on trains.
We're actually going to get on the Elizabeth Line trains here at the volunteer event to see how they're running.
And it's so good, we even get breakfast first, so shall we?
Yes.
How can we eat with these on? Hi everybody, welcome to a very special edition of the Hidden London Hangouts. We've been talking a lot about the Elizabeth Line, the forthcoming new revolutionary railway that's going to run under our feet in London. But today we're doing something very, very special because we were invited to take part along with 2,200 other people in testing the line yesterday, and it was stupendous fun, and we got access to a lot of things that a lot of people probably wouldn't see, so we want to share it with you. Don't do this alone. I've got three people usually from the London Transport Museum to guide us through whatever we're talking about today. I've only got two. I've got Chris Nix first of all. Chris, what a day yesterday.
Hello, do you know, I had so much fun on it, Alex. I've done that thing that you do when you've been on a nice all-inclusive holiday. You know, when they give you the wristband, and if you keep it on when you get back, it still feels a little bit like you're enjoying the holiday magic still. Well, there we go. My volunteer wristband from yesterday still.
Oh, I love that. It was already using the complimentary apple and flapjack that he got as part of the lunch. That's pretty cool. Bit like an all-in cocktail, isn't it, really? Laura Hilton-Brown, she didn't manage to come with us, but she is with us today, which is the important bit because we've got stuff to talk about, Laura.
Well, I didn't get a wristband, but I do have this.
Oh, so cool, isn't it? Because I've got mine as well. You'll remember, if you're a regular viewer, that for Christmas, I got the team a cushion made of Elizabeth Line moquette. This is moquette, it's seat fabric from the trains. And we're going to be talking about that a bit later on. Today, if you're a fan of trains, tunnels, or moquette, this is for you. Later on in the episode, we'll be talking to Emma Sewell from Wallace Sewell, the designers of that amazing fabric. But without further ado, let's get on a train. There are going to be huge numbers of these beautiful vehicles running under London, and we got on one yesterday. Take a look at this. Okay, so here we are.
Let's have
on
another
the
one.
first Elizabeth Line. We're filming this for this, and he's filming that for the Hangouts, and we're on the first train.
I'm trying to bag a seat because I don't have
Do it, jump down. Are you going to sit down? Are you going to pull the pull downs? This is so exciting. We're like kids in sweet shop, right? So this is the
like new train.
Smells like new. I think we should give him a round of applause.
That's also a television sync clap.
It is.
We know
I was
in the
being
train.
subtle, but
That's
there we
really,
are.
really clever. I love this. So this is a 9-carriage train, class 345. Is that right? I
didn't check.
I think it's right. I'll look on the front of the train when we get to the other end, and we're going from Paddington to Woolwich, and Woolwich to Paddington, and then we're going from Paddington to Tottenham Court Road. I'm going to have a look round because I've not seen that station yet, and then we're going to come back to Paddington, and then we're going to go to the pub. Oh, actually, you're going running. We're going to go to the pub.
Definitely.
That's what we're going to do.
Jealous.
There is one thing I did bring, by the way. I have to show you this because, you know, if you think that maybe the cushions and the seats are a little bit uncomfortable, I do actually have an Elizabeth Line cushion with me. So there we go, we're all right. I'm going to be comfortable whatever happens.
Oh, perfect.
I love it.
You can sit on the floor and you'll be all right, basically.
I'm doing just fine. I noticed we've got a few Hidden London Hangouts fans as well, and I love this.
I noticed.
It's really, really cool.
We have some railway royalty here, Mr. Tim.
Timmy Dunn!
Fancy meeting you here.
Thank you for bringing my cushion.
That's something all right, yes, that's all right. I'm going to put a ring on it one day and just leave it there for you.
I noticed you're sporting the scarf as well from the music shop, which is
represent.
wonderful.
You know, these are available on my own website. An affiliate code, you can get a discount on. Welcome. This is fabulous to see.
It's very
good, isn't it?
exciting. I
What a
know,
secret!
this is the first
What a
time.
secret! Yeah, and they're very comfortable flip-down seats. We got
You do have to kind of pinch yourself a bit though, don't you? And just go, we're on the new line that's not opened yet.
Yeah, because we were banned from this.
Yeah.
City and I came down here to see some other stations recently for another thing that we were doing. We couldn't get on these trains.
No, we've
And
been
we-
banned from getting on the train for
Like-
too long.
Like the alarm went off.
Every time we did the Hangouts as well, we could go in and peek and show you a little bit inside it, but no, thou shalt not board.
Yeah.
So,
Can I just say as well, there's something very lovely about this, and our Hangouts fans will know this. Do you remember Blankety Blank with Terry Wogan and that little
I'm not that
microphone
old,
on a
unfortunately,
stick?
Alex.
Really, I feel
Yeah,
that old
I-
most
yes,
days.
yes.
But there's your little Terry
I know
Wogan
that I
stick.
almost said to you on the platform, I've improvised Terry Wogan here, but there we go.
Why do we
Hopefully it
think
works.
the same? It's really worrying. But these are really, really lovely. And I have to say, the thing I love about these trains is they just look so blooming neat.
I have to say the on-train information is great as well, isn't it?
They are great.
Yeah, it is.
Also, I love the fact.
Oh, it's Wi-Fi too.
There's
was a
Wi-Fi
slight
all the way through.
undulation there.
There's free Wi-Fi. You watch the train. Look how it sneaks around the corners. Look, wee up and down.
Oh yeah.
But what I love is look at the displays outside on the boards. It's got the train ID on there. You can see the data that powers the system. It's so exciting.
It's so good.
nerdy.
As I was saying earlier, I think we're going to turn this into the film called The Taking of Pelham 1942, which is on this one.
And I have to say a big hello to Chris Bevan Lee once again. He's actually not meant to be working with us today, and as a favour to us, he's filming us so that we can get a little bit of this for our Hidden London Hangouts. I'm very, very delighted. Hello, Chris. We love you. Enjoy your holiday when you go. I love it. I love
Well
it.
deserved.
It's so cute.
I've got to say, don't you guys feel the sound is very distinct?
Yeah.
Because they've done so much in terms of ventilation and everything in order to make this as smooth as possible. It just sounds like almost like a Eurostar train.
It's like a quiet roar, isn't it?
Which is what we get every week when we go live. But I think it is notably quieter.
It's lovely.
Most other lines that I've been.
Somebody once said actually that they came on the train through from, like it was Reading, and as the train descends onto the new track, you can feel the difference because of where it's been laid. Can I just say, this cushion, this moquette,
Yes.
is the special moquette, isn't
Elizabeth line.
it? It's not the normal seat moquette. It's the priority
Special.
seat. It's the priority seat.
So if we look, it's just
Because I like to
nearest
think
the
of
door.
my lovely chums, this was their Christmas present, and I'd like to think of my chums
bottom
as
is
being
very special.
priority and special
Yes, very
in every way.
priority
Can I
bottom.
borrow your Wogan mic a minute? Because they don't know I'm going to do this. They're going to come with me. Because these guys are Hidden London Hangouts fans. And I have to say, first of all, what's your name and where'd you come from?
London.
London!
Ellen.
Hi, Helen. I know. What do you think of the trains?
Pretty good, aren't they?
Amazing, amazing.
Fabulous.
And will this be a line that really changes your lives? Because for me it will.
Well, we're getting married and we just bought a house in Reading.
You're the one down on your knee there, Ellen.
And I'm the one. Would you like my ring cushion? Actually, Chris, can you keep an eye on that cushion? I don't want it going anywhere.
And yeah, we've just bought a house in Reading and I work in the NHS and Tottenham Court Road is where UCLH is, so it's going to be perfect for me.
I was born at University College Hospital.
So was I.
Amazing. This is so cool. This is so cool. And of course, we got over here. Hello, guys. What do you think of the train?
Very nice.
Beautiful, isn't it? And I think that the thing that is so lovely about this is that the trains effectively are open plan. So there's no kind of, and I should imagine if you're travelling late at night,
Yeah.
probably feels a lot safer as well.
Yeah, well, I'm Londoner, all the early lines. I live in Baker Street.
Yeah.
I've used all of them. This is the best. It's really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I love it.
If you
It's
can't have a
simple.
guard on a train, let's have an open plan and then everyone can just be around other people.
No, you feel safe. You really do feel safe, and you can like see people there, and you know if you feel that you need to contact someone or need assistance immediately, it's brilliant.
It's brilliant, isn't it? And of course, when you look out the window, the amazing thing about this is the Hangouts, the Hidden London Hangouts, we've been talking about the different colours of light, like that light is where you don't stand around because it's really cold, but then on the platforms it's really warm light, so you linger longer there. I think it's really cool. And again, days like this, there's so many people. So many people on these trains. I think 2,200 people today who are
It
being...
actually feels spacious.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like you're cramped like sardines. And it's so quiet and it's smooth. I love it.
Absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. So nice to see you.
You too.
Congratulations
Thank
on your
you.
nutshawls.
Take care.
Absolutely fantastic. Mr. Nix, would you like your Wogan?
I would like my
Would you like your
Wogan
Wogan back?
Thank you.
Look at that, Tottenham Court Road.
Just past Tottenham Court Road.
Should have gone off. You're going to be late for work, nurse. It's fantastic.
So
Absolutely
next
fantastic.
stop is
What after this one?
Farringdon.
Which we've never been to.
Oh,
Which
it's
was our
lovely.
first. It was our first one on the Hangouts, wasn't
we
it? That's where we got started.
Oh, yes, I've never been to Farringdon ever before, of course.
Never.
Never been there.
Never heard of the place.
It's very smooth. I like it. I agree. It does make me feel safe just having this kind of walk through of the entire train.
It makes such a difference, you know. It really makes such a difference to the travelling public to know that wherever they are in the train, they're with other people, you know.
And I'm actually very excited because this, when it opens, it's going to mean travelling to come to your house.
It's going to be good, isn't it?
Way
I've got some
quicker.
great pubs in Woolwich.
Yeah,
I have
there
to
you
say,
go.
some great pubs.
Yeah.
It is really
So we've
bizarre.
got enough time to get out at that end, go to the pub, and then get back on
If
the
he's
train
with us,
coming back.
definitely.
I'm just saying that this opens up so many pub crawl opportunities that you
Yeah.
have never previously thought of. Crossrail, it's just a new, sorry, Elizabeth line is just a whole new pub crawl, isn't it?
I like to think that's why it got government approval.
And can I say, by the way, there's always talk about, there's the likes of Jeff Marshall, and there's Tim and Siddy, and then there's our stuff. There are other people as well doing these tube things. This is ghost proof. We all get on really well, and there's plenty of scope for you to enjoy Tim's stuff, or our stuff, or Jeff's stuff, and just we all have a lovely old time, because frankly, this isn't work.
Not Jeff's stuff.
We love Jeff.
Not Jeff's stuff. No, because he doesn't.
We should have a you and Jeff.
He and I, we don't speak.
You wouldn't take him on a pub crawl, would you?
Well, I did, yeah, like the other week.
Oh, he actually
Could we get you both on to do like a celebrity smackdown hangout?
This is the real. I agree with you. It's really odd. I mean, the weird thing is, I've known Jeff. We've been friends for years. Yeah. And it's really strange. Like, we're pitting ourselves against each other. We sit in the pub and we go like, why are they doing this? We have no idea. Exactly. It's space for everybody. It's more interpretations, and if more people are talking about it and loving it, that's the main thing, right? There's so much room on the internet for more.
It's so lovely. It's so lovely.
Absolutely. More, not less.
Here we are at Farringdon, by the way. And can I just introduce, by the way, this is Paul. Paul is the lead guide for the Transport Museum. Come over here, love.
Hello, Paul.
Because Paul is the man who takes you on these amazing tours all around these stations like Down Street, Charing Cross.
And Aaron's also one of our guys.
Aaron's here as well. So guys, what do you make of this little journey? This is rather funky, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. It seems to be working. I'm making sure. How do you feel?
It's pretty good. I mean, they haven't lined the doors up here though. It's not just.
Well, yeah, we've decided that Farringdon needs a little push along.
But it's so cool. And as I say, we've been travelling on these trains at sort of either end of the line for a while, but to go under London, and you suddenly realise how quick this is going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, that was Paddington. We're now at Farringdon. It won't be long before at Woolwich.
Well, you realise how useful it would have been. You think of all the places that you've gone or travelled around London, and you think to yourself, I wish this was here around before. I would have expedited my journey so much.
But it's interesting, isn't it? Because like in the 50s, 60s and 70s, we used to talk about how air travel shrank the world. And this is shrinking London. It's actually shrinking the capital city and making east and west so easy to get to. I mean, we were joking with Tim, this is going to make a great pub crawl, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
All the way along this line.
Let's do it.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. You've got to get the blind beggar in Whitechapel. Even Chris, the cameraman, knows about that. It's a great place to be. So it's all good. So I think maybe what we should do is have a little pause, enjoy the journey, and then we'll reconvene when we're at Woolwich and just ooze it all out. It's going to be great.
Sounds good.
Definitely.
Oh, it's so exciting, isn't it? Wonderful stuff. That train, the people, so nice to meet you when we get the chance to, when we're out on the road. But also, it was a good day for two particular people, wasn't it, Law?
I know, huge congratulations to Helen and Ian. What lovely news, and well done for capturing it, Mr. Roving Reporter Grundy. What I particularly liked was just behind you guys kind of bubbling away, and I'm sure you felt it when you were there as well, was just that level of energy in the carriage, and I'm sure it expanded the whole train. But I felt it. I wasn't even there, just kind of seeing it on the screen. There's a lot of energy and excitement, and that must have been really lovely to be around, because it just looks so sleek and streamlined and energy efficient, as well as connecting more of London. I mean, what is not to love, guys?
So good. And Chris, proof if proof were needed that we all get on with Timmy off the telly.
Yeah, it was really nice. We'd arranged to go with Tim, so he was the fourth person in our party. And what was lovely is when we were all waiting to meet each other at the start, there was me and you there waiting, and then Tim came along, and while we were waiting for Siddy, there was just this endless stream of people joining the queue going, oh, Hangouts, oh, Secrets of London Underground, oh, Architecture Series. So it was really nice to meet so many of our fans on that one, and thank you to everybody who came over and said hello.
It was so good, so good. So Timmy off the telly, hello. He's like Tigger when he runs towards you. He's absolutely amazing. And I haven't yet met Jeff Marshall. Hello. We need to meet in a pub very, very soon. Now, we're back in the train, and we managed to catch up with the top brass. I can't believe I'm on a train, and these are like the most important people in TFL, and I'm about to say, hello boys, how are you?
Fancy meeting you.
Fancy seeing you here. Now then, what does this mean to you to be on this train? Because there are an awful lot of very, very happy people.
Well, to me, it's the culmination of so many years of hard work. And for me, only the last two, but for Mark, many more years than that. So for me, this is so exciting because we're that close to opening. get this exercise out the way, a couple more smaller ones, and then we're into reliability running, and then we open. So it couldn't be a more exciting day. It's tangibly close.
It's fantastic. And you have changed London. You've changed the geography of London. You've shrunk it.
Well, I'm one person out of 75,000. 75,000 people have worked on Crossrail in this instance, and this has been going for 22 years in this incarnation. Originally thought about in 1974. So before that, I think in the 1830s, way back. So 75,000 people, we just happen to be the lucky people at the end. But it is transformative, and I think when people use it, it's a complete game changer. I mean, this is, there won't be many better railways in the world, I don't think.
And the thing, Andy, as well about all of this is that when you look at these trains, they are gleaming and beautiful and bright. The stations are stunning. They tell us even where we can stand and where we can't stand by the light bulbs that you've chosen. This is a place that's been really, really well considered, hasn't it?
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, the customer's been put at the forefront of every part of the journey, and the fact we can even have this conversation whilst travelling at 60 miles an hour through a tunnel. What other train line in the UK or even in the world can you do that? So it's a phenomenal customer experience, and Londoners are going to be absolutely wowed by it.
And I have to say, guys, we've got royalty right in front of us.
And more than that, I've got my Terry Wogan 1, so I have to do. I've got to ask the line. The Elizabeth line, getting to this point of opening, makes me feel blank. What's the blank?
Oh,
only you.
Relieved.
Yes.
Proud.
Excited. Supremely excited.
There we go. Excellent.
I'm still grinning from the fact that you came up with that line. That was brilliant. Well done. Well done. And here we are with this Canary Wharf. You see the speed at which this is happening. Paddington only a couple of minutes ago, and now we're at Canary Wharf, and watch soon.
Mark was right to say it's a game changer. The fact you'll be able to go from Canary Wharf to Heathrow in around 40 minutes. This is a massive boost for UK PLC, because no other city's got this coming up. So this gives us a huge competitive advantage to go back to Heathrow. Once we pull out of COVID, etc., etc. And I also think there's no greater symbol of London's emergence and resurgence from COVID than this. This will send an absolute frisson of excitement through the UK, and it'll be the envy of the world. So we can't wait. And the nicest thing is looking around, the kids, the excitement, and the adults for that matter. Everything about this oozes quality. So we're very proud, aren't we, gentlemen?
Can you tell there's a hubbub on this train as well? I really hope when these trains start running, people are actually talking to each other, like we should on trains.
We've had projects had its challenges, but this is at its time this was the biggest construction project in Europe, and it's the 5th biggest infrastructure project in the world in transportation. So the challenges we've had, they were serious, but we kind of got there in the end, and I think this will be seen as one of the great British engineering achievements. One of the great achievements. Certainly in this century, there won't be a better engineering achievement. And we should acknowledge the work of the people way back. The people who built these beautiful tunnels. The reason the ride's so good is the civil engineering was just astonishing. Yeah, incredible job. Best in the world, I would say.
Thank you so much for allowing us on. Thank you so much for building it, and thanks for watching the Hangouts as well.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
So, we've come out of the tunnel.
I panicked there for a minute. Well, here we are.
Yeah.
I love this. This is Custom House, right in the middle of the Docklands, right by Excel, and we're about to plunge deep underwater.
Ooh, I love plunging deep underwater.
Good, I'm glad you said that. So we're going to go into what's known as the Connaught Tunnel. Now this is a really, really old railway tunnel that was
just repurposed,
derelict for years.
Phenomenally difficult piece of work to bring it back into use for this.
Tell us about what you know, because I must admit, all I know is it's a really old tunnel that they had to dredge.
All I know is watching a rather excellent documentary about it happening several years ago, and just how difficult it was.
And so this is, in its entirety, an old tunnel. They've just made better.
It up, basically.
And this actually emerges right by London City Airport, doesn't it? And then it goes, and then I believe it goes underground again. There's like a point in it where you can see the trains. If you're on the DLR going down towards City Airport, you can see the Elizabeth Line trains passing under you, and then it goes under the river again. It's fascinating, absolutely fascinating. So we're underneath the docks at the moment, and then in a minute we'll see a little bit of daylight, and then we'll go under the Thames. And it's so cool. And then you're in Woolwich. There it is. So City Airport's over there, and the sugar factory's over there. And the River Thames is there, and then we're about to go underground again. And oh, hello, here we are. Woo! So there's the sugar factory, just there. And City Airport is there.
I remember when this used to be the old silver,
the Silver Link.
Silver Link.
Yeah, the North London line, as it was at the time.
Yeah.
So this is why it was called Silvertown, by the way, because of Silver Spoon, the sugar factory.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Oh, you
used
stick
to
with
run
me,
a junior
kid.
citizenship scheme at that.
Yeah,
years ago.
stick with me,
So
kid.
good.
Honestly,
You'll
this is fun.
feel,
And then we're down again.
Oh, that was quite a rise.
hello.
That was like going over a hump
Hello,
bridge,
come
wasn't
through,
it?
come through, come through.
Siddy.
Oh,
Could we
where's your stick? Where's your stick?
Of course. Such a fan.
Do it, do
Of
it.
course.
Isn't this amazing? It's going to make such a difference to your life, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, no, the cut-out journey will be so much better.
Yeah.
And we'll connect the areas without feeling that we're isolated as well.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
I mean, I'm looking mostly forward to the fact that I can get to yours so quickly for a little tickle.
It's funny you keep mentioning alcohol, Siddles. It's funny you keep mentioning alcohol.
Only just to relate to you.
The important thing is to find out
feel
what
better.
time of night they stop
Oh,
running.
yeah.
That's the...
Oh yeah, can we find the last train times? That's really good. Otherwise, I'm afraid you're just going to have to stay with me and drink
Snuggle with
into the
Gizmo.
night. Yeah, snuggle with the cat. It'll be great. And here we are. This is very exciting for me because I've not been to Woolwich yet.
Your
I've
new
walked past
home
it,
station.
and yet we're about to arrive in what is my new home station. I
Well,
need
the
to.
shape of London has changed.
It really has. It really has. It really has.
What a fun day to be a part of too, because everyone is
Hello.
so excited.
It is quite weird though, isn't it? Because I can feel how excited I am about all of this. And everyone on this train has chosen to be here to see what their new life in London is going to be like when this opens soon. So yeah, it's really lovely. And of course, I'm just looking around trying to think, have they changed the maps? And of course,
The
they
maps
haven't
haven't
yet,
been
but they
put
will.
up, yeah.
They will, which is again really fun.
The tube map's getting pretty crowded.
It
That
is,
is
isn't
a
it?
luxury for
Yeah.
a city to have.
I mean, if you just look at the map up there, actually, lovely Chris, cameraman, if you just look at it, as for a capital city, and there's more lines to come on this, it is quite remarkable, isn't it? It's quite remarkable to imagine that many trains, that many lines. It's stunning. What do you make of it today? Because you're like, you're our master observer.
I tell you what I'm going through here. The last time I was involved in something like this was when the Jubilee Line extension was opening 23 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's so good that we got to come and do this and be part of these moments because they don't happen very often. So yeah, twice in a career chance really. So yeah, it's good.
Hey honey, I'm home. Woolwich. Oh, look at this. This is so cool.
Look at that platform full of people.
God, it's so weird because we've been doing these previews and we've never had people on them, of course, because it's just us visiting the site. So just to see the platform full of people is really exciting. Right?
I love
Shall we
this.
go?
Come on, Chris, let's get off.
Right,
and here we are.
go.
I'm at home. This is Woolwich.
Wow, look
This
at that.
is Woolwich.
Wow. And look at this, guys.
Thank you very much indeed.
Love this.
Oh my goodness.
Oh
This
my
is
God,
even-
this is so lovely. Sorry, we're in the way, but
Can Chris, the cameraman, have one as well? Is that all right? Because I'll take his. God, we can't leave you out. This is so cool.
I helped open the Elizabeth line.
Can I have your autograph, please?
Oh yeah. Can I
have your autograph?
Can I have yours?
Can I have your autograph?
Oh, you're Tim off the telly. Hi, Tim.
You're Alex, aren't you? Can I have your autograph? Can I have a selfie on the camera?
What, do you want to sign a cheque with it or something like that? There we go. So there we have our journey from Paddington to Woolwich. It took no time at all.
Put this guy on.
Well,
there we go. I love it. I love it. What a lovely,
we
lovely day.
were here, and what a beautiful station. We haven't done this one yet.
No.
And look at the bronze work.
Yeah.
And look at the tiles.
Great, grown up. It's actually got.
She loves the tile.
Very nice.
Heavens, bronze and tiles. I think it might be the best one yet.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Wasn't it great to meet even more fans, including some of the highest ranking people in TfL who watched the show? It was tremendous. And also, Laura, you may have noticed that at the end there where we were collecting our bags, mine sort of had a suspicious bulge in it. And that's because I got one for you as well.
Oh, love you, Nixie. Thank you. Do you know, as I saw you all collecting your bags, I mean, I loving my cushion, but as I saw you all collecting your bags, I did have a little kind of pang of wish I was there. But I've just got a really quick question for you guys, because I want to throw Chris's question to you guys. off on that day, what would your blank words be for the Elizabeth line? Alex first.
I was just pondering on suspicious bulges there for a moment. I think for me, the one word is just brilliant.
Aww.
Because it's so lovely to think that even out here in southeast London, we're now so close to central London. This is a journey. The journey from here to Paddington would normally be about an hour and 15 minutes. It's now 25. And this is time-space compression on a level you've never seen before. In the 1960s, it was all about air travel, shrinking the world. Now, in our capital city, we have a railway line which is going to shrink it completely, effectively. And I love that. What about you, Chris? Your word?
My word was awesome. I was literally awed, as I have been before when I've been to the stations, but I was awed by the experience. I know it will probably become commonplace very quickly, but for the time being, I'm still awed by it. Also, I can't help but notice that the cushion does fit very nicely.
Yay!
Gorgeous stuff. I love it. He's always got a pouch for everything, hasn't he? It's marvelous. Now, we'll talk about places that we don't normally go. One place on the train that no one normally goes, but we were granted access. Thank you, Scott. More on you in a minute. Was the driver's cab. Now, we can't get obviously in with the driver, so we were taken to the rear cab of the train and enjoyed the journey there. Just feast your eyes at this.
Now, the thing which I'm very used to being inside this environment is the voice of Sidney Holloway in the museum simulator. Wow, that is dark, isn't it? Heavens.
The next station is...
It is.
Oh wow, we're going straight through an Ulster.
So this is rather lovely because between Paddington and Tottenham Court Road, we got to actually sit in the driver's. In fact, I'm in the driver's seat.
Don't touch anything.
This is incredible. Scott got us in. Got lovely Timmy here as well off the telly. Timmy off the telly. This is going to stick. And we've got Scott and we've got Chris cameraman. This is a very, very exciting little ride, isn't it?
It's a real bonus to get in here. I mean, I've sat in Train Simulator version of this, and we've of course got our own version of the simulator at London Transport Museum, but to be in the real thing on the real railway is quite special, isn't it, Tim?
It's very special, and also the fact we get to share it with everyone else afterwards, because you can't put 20,000 people in this cab.
So
but with this now
we have to do it.
So yeah, it's a real privilege, and this is the kind of thing that very few folk get to go and do. So this is brilliant, and this project, I know it's taken a long time, but this is so worth it. It is so worth it.
We were there just only a few weeks ago.
Right. We gotta go. Thanks. Nothing beats going in a train cab, and I loved every second of it, and I hope you enjoyed the view as well. The buttons, everything, it's just so posh, so incredibly posh. Laura, I'm very, very sorry you couldn't come with us, but I didn't push any buttons. I absolutely promise. I was well behaved.
How lucky were you guys to go into the actual, well, the driver's, the cab. Alex, I know you got to go in the seat, and I bet you were desperate to press all of those buttons, but well done for not doing it. But that whole, so far, everything is just encapsulated in this lovely, kind of stylish, sleek train. And I honestly can't wait to go on it. We've stood on that platform so many times when we've done the stations and not been able to go in, and now you guys have. So I'm a little bit jealous, but very excited the first time I get to travel on it.
It's gorgeous. I'm going to show you one picture before I bring in a lovely, very, very special guest. And it is of the strap hanger. And look, Law, at the little roundel right at the top of that metal. Everything is detailed. Can you see that?
It is. And the attention to detail and the small intricacies of the design is always where my brain and my eye goes to. And I guess what I need to remember as well is flip back to when you were interviewing the amazing guys in the carriage, that this is a huge engineering achievement. This infrastructure, this project is colossal. It's epic. And so many things have just got, the layers in it are just incredible. And to remember all these little intricate details of design is just gorgeous, isn't it?
You're so right, Law. You're so right. Now, you talk about specific details of the trains. it would be remiss of us not to mention this, the beautiful seat fabric. We've called it moquette for many, many years, the French word for carpet. It is the seat fabric that we're all sitting on. It's also the stuff that you're going to shove around your face if you've got a face mask from the Transport Museum. It is an amazing product designed by two of the most wonderful human beings I've ever met, one of whom joins me now, Emma Sewell from Wallace Sewell. Hello, darling.
Hello, how are you, Alex?
Oh, do you know, we are so glad to have you back on the show because those trains are wonderful. It's the first time you've met Laura. Laura's got a bit of your fabric right behind her back now.
I can see, very good.
Tell us about the design of this this particular fabric for the Elizabeth line, because it is unique to the line, isn't it?
It is unique to the line, although it actually evolved from the TfL rail moquette, which is the green one, which is on the older trains that sometimes run the same route as the lovely new trains. And it's the same grid and it's got a lot of the same little lines on it, but obviously it's very purple.
It's beautiful. And tell me, when you come up with these designs, because honestly, you are also the people who created Barman, the London, I mean, you know, the iconic London landmark fabric that are on a number of the lines, the Jubilee, the Northern, the Pick, the Bakerloo. In fact, Laura, just come to shot for a moment, because you've got the actual snippets of fabric that me and Emma framed for you last Christmas.
Well, I got really excited then when you started talking about it. It was like, oh my gosh, I've got that in frame as well, because obviously I have this amazing Barman moquette, two gorgeous Christmas presents from the Grundon. But yeah, here they are in shot, loving both.
They are so gorgeous. Tell me, Emma, when you design these fabrics, you know, there's blocks, there's lines, there's bits and bobs of whatever. What's the inspiration? How do you do it?
So I guess because it evolved from the TfL rail, that started as an image of a little building that's on Stratford Station. It's a funny little green building that's on one of the platforms. And when we were designing the original maquette, we rode the line at Schoenfield and back and took pictures, and that caught our eye. And then we started the grid and then laid over these, there's a sort of a bit of artwork somewhere that's got these sort of little stripes of falling off collage on it. So that was the TfL rail. Then when we came to do the Crossrail, because it was running the same line, it seemed a sort of nice sort of synchronicity to actually take that same grid. But we had to work with purple, which is quite an interesting colour, because a lot of designers are a little bit like about using it. And so we started by just taking that grid, doing a bit of colouring in, as we might often do, and tried various colourways, thinking about what would work nicely with the purple, you know. And then what happened was, because the interior of the train has very sophisticated grey grab rails and the little sort of things you were showing before, the handles at the top, the fabric had to be quite light overall. So some of our early designs, which had quite a lot of sort of biscuity colour in there to hide the dirt, didn't pass this thing called an LRV test, which is LRV is light reflective values. And we had to have the average of all the light reflective values of all the colours in the fabric be so many points different to the grey of the grab rail.
Do you know, the thing about you know, and I love all of this, and I can just watch Chris watching, and Laura is the same. We're completely captivated by this because we love it. You are such a part of London, and I don't think you even realise. I mean, look, right behind me, I have your Barman fabric on a cushion. You are part of my living room, let alone anything else. Yeah. And I just love the fact that when you talk to us, you tell us exactly how these things come. But LRVs, this is just brilliant. Everyone around London and anyone around the world watching this now knows what those are. And I love the fact that on our screen right now, there is literally a watercolor design, effectively, of that pattern that we're now sitting on every day.
It is. It's an early version of it, and it just evolved. So we, you know, having to put in a lot of white and still make it hopefully hide the dirt. We then started to introduce all these little pinstripes that are in the final design, so that even though there's a lot of pale colour in there, you know, hopefully those lines disguise the dirt. But then also they give this sense of speed, which, you know, I've ridden the line a lot, and you know, it is amazing. That's another early stage.
It's like the best test card in the world, isn't it? It's just brilliant. I absolutely adore that.
Test card when when the show's waiting to go live.
We're gonna do it. So good. Are you pleased with the design?
Pardon?
Are you pleased with the design?
I am. It was, as I say, it was quite a challenge at the time because I basically built this amazing spreadsheet where I had sort of all the amount of lines and their light reflective values and worked out complicated sums so that I came out with a final number. And it was just like, we're not hitting the number, we're not hitting the number. And so we had to just keep introducing more and more and more white. So when you get to the final design, you can see there's quite a lot of this pale, very pale grey, which represents the white in there. But at the time when designing it, I was like, I'm sure this is going to look grubby really early on, really quick. But, you know, some of the trains have been running for quite a few years now, and it's looking fine. You know, I think the design of the trains obviously keeps the dirt out really well, because they're still looking quite sparkly.
It is, and I think part of it, I don't know whether you'd agree, Chris and Laura, but I do think a little bit of this is because there's a bit of London pride about this line. It is a beautiful line to go on, and I've never, and I've travelled on these trains quite a lot recently, I've never seen anyone put their feet on the seats. And I think there is something to be said for putting beautiful things in the way of beautiful people, and they'll actually look after them. Mm-hmm. Laura, you're a massive fan of design and moquette and everything that the London Underground and all of the subterranean railways and buses and DLR do. What do you think of the design?
I genuinely love it, and I feel like Emma, I mean, it's just the stripes and that kind of nod to the pinstripe with the nod towards the kind of city and the suits and the speed is just genius. I think that is absolutely amazing. I love the different shades. I know purple, you said purple was quite tricky to work with, but it just oozes Elizabeth line and that kind of regal theme of purple, doesn't it? And how clever that you've kind of splashed in the colours of the line that it connects with as well. Like, that's lovely. Is the blue the water? Is that the Thames, or is that nothing?
It's Piccadilly blue, but it's also priority blue.
Right, okay.
So it's that maquette you're holding is the priority version for the sort of seats near
the... Of course, yes, yes.
So I didn't think they reached for the Maquettopedia volume.
Oh no, here we go. Oh, here we go.
Which has the regular one, which is what we've been looking at in there. You can see it's got much less blue than the version that you've got on your cushion there.
Yeah, but it's funny because I do ride the line quite a bit, and sometimes if the sort of carriage is fairly empty, I'll just study the design again. And you know, it's this sort of fact that we had to introduce a lot of the pinstripes to make the whole design work. It was, you know, serendipity. It made it what it is. When I was compiling images for today, I was looking back at some of the earlier ones thinking, the final one's much better. It's much more exciting. And it's a real sort of step on from some of our other maquettes. And just the fact that you had these shades of different purples and mauves, all sort of slightly crossing each other and working with each other. And it's really fascinating to look at as a designer, even though obviously we created it. But you know, I do look like the mad lady sat on the train sometime. Just
you know, I honestly, it's so delightful to see you again, because last Christmas when I did the Christmas present for everybody with the framed maquette, I went round to Emma and Harriet's studio near King's Cross. And I took 2 bottles of Prosecco and I said, God, we'll do a bit of framing, have a bit of Christmas fizz. And they were so well behaved. There was like half a glass each, and we had a photograph taken, lovely photograph, the 3 of us actually, wasn't it? It was beautiful. Yeah. And it was just one of those days where I thought, I need to get more inside your heads, because you fascinate me. The way you can use colour, the way you can inspire men and women to buy your scarves and goodness knows what else. But most importantly, the way you have designed London in this very municipal way, but also this very deliciously tangible way, I absolutely adore. And will you come back and just let us see your studio and how moquette design processes happen? Would you let us do that?
Yeah, anytime. You know, there's I could keep talking forever about it all. It's always such a fascinating project to have, and we, you know, as I always say, it's just, you know, fulfilled such a big goal in our sort of career of what we wanted to do from when we first, almost before we started Wallace Sewell and we just shared a studio together. We always used to say, oh God, if we could just design an underground maquette, that would be amazing. So,
Well, you did, and it's not just one, you've done loads. And I have to say, if you're into maquette and that kind of thing, don't forget the London Transport Museum. This is my wallet, right? This is Route Master Maquette. There's loads of different designs. Talking about the Elizabeth line today, but it supports the museum by buying stuff from the London Transport Museum, and it is a beautiful, beautiful memento of either your time in London or just being in London. As I say, the barman design is beautiful, but actually, as we're talking about the Elizabeth line, I absolutely love this. And I believe, Chris, in the shop there's actually a bag that's made of
yes, there's a whole range of Elizabeth line stuff, which is, there's a small amount which is available already, and there's going to be more of it as we get closer to opening. I have to also say thank you, Emma, for the creation of Barman. I do think it's absolutely astounding. I travel quite a lot on the Bakerloo line, and that is my favourite variant of it, I think. I can't help but remember back in, I think it was the first series. It might have even been the one where you first appeared. Alex's memorable reaction to me wearing my genuine maquette mask on the first show, like that, if you remember.
I don't know why they had to edit that word out that I used.
No, indeed.
Very funny, really. Emma, as always, stick around because we're going to do some extra stuff for Patreon very shortly after this. But for now, thank you so much. And honestly, you've made those trains look so sexy. Honestly, thank you. Right, so notes, queries and questions. There is the Elizabeth line. We are back in a couple of stations, actually, including Woolwich, because it is, well, I mean, it's a mind-blowing station. We weren't going to show you too much today because it's just too much to take in. We did the train today. We'll be back in Woolwich and Custom House, and we've got Whitechapel as well. Loads and loads of different ones to do, and of course Paddington and Farringdon that we've done already, Tottenham Court Road. But in the meantime, notes, queries and questions. And I have to say, Laura, this involves you too, my darling, because I handed you a little envelope, didn't I?
You did. So we haven't, obviously our paths haven't crossed for quite some time, schedules and all that. And I received this beautiful cushion from Alex. And he said to me, I've got something else for you, Laura. So I got very excited. Not that I'm that materialistic, obviously. But he passed me this little package. And we thought we'd save it to open it. Is this the right one? Am I doing the right thing, Alex?
And this has come from Evie. And she sent me a message. She said, hi, Alex, I hope you're well. I'm messaging on behalf of my dad, who's a massive Hidden London Hangouts fan. But doesn't have Instagram. So apologies for the long and multiple messages, but I've got a lot to say. Ever since the series has started, he's watched every episode and has loved it. And I have to say, often found myself watching it happily with him, with a Hidden London mug. You and the rest of the Fab Four have such a lovely presence, truly warm and inviting to underground aficionados and casual viewers alike. Thank you. Nice words. Read on, Al. As thanks for the comfort and joy you've brought, my dad was wondering if you'd accept a gift from him. As part of his collection of all things underground, he has a sign for the Royal London Hospital where he was born. I almost feel I don't want to take this off you because it's such a generous gift. And where you did hospital radio. I did. And I love doing hospital radio. It's probably what gave me the career I've had, the joyful career I've had. I'm planning a visit to the museum and I wondered if you'd accept it. So Laura, we'd also love a tile-related gift for her with the same idea of leaving these at the museum. Laura, would you like to open up what you've got?
I'm excited. So, oh bless. And did you say it was from Evie?
Yeah, Evie.
My daughter's called Evie. Lovely name.
Evie is the daughter of her dad. And I just, oh my goodness, he's so lovely. It's just so
Look what
sweet.
I got.
Jeremy is the dad.
Thank you, Evie. Thank you, Jeremy.
And Nixie,
you are two very special, thoughtful people.
And they are the designs of Leslie Green's stations and the tile patterns, aren't they, Nixie?
That's right. They're the diagrams from an excellent book by Doug Rose, which was done quite a few years ago now. And it's called Tiles of the Unexpected. Great name. and it details the tiles of Leslie Green stations and has these pull-out diagrams in the back. They're really great. For the tile queen of the show, Laura.
Oh, thanks. What's really special, it has all of the greens and all of the blues, which I go on about obviously every single time we're in a station. As anything teal, green, blue, they are my favouriteest ever shades.
You've officially taken us to the I'm sorry I haven't a clue stage by showing Mornington Crescent there.
I know. And the best bit about it is, you know, we sit there and talk about Leslie Green, that amazing designer of stations, so much. One of these days,
Upside down.
It's going to be Emma Sewell is going to be the big designer of episode 6 of series 95 of the Hidden London Hangouts. And can I just say, by the way, this is what makes, I mean, I'm quite humbled by this because, as I say, it was a big time in my life when I was learning to do radio, and I was lucky enough to do it in a hospital where people were nice enough to want to listen. And that is from Whitechapel Station, and that would have been on the walls to show you how to get to the Royal London Hospital when you come off the train at Whitechapel. So I'm so chuffed with that.
That's even going to work well in the corridor towards your studio, isn't it? It's the right direction.
Yeah, my home studio. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Nice.
So nice. So thank you so much, Jeremy and Evie. Thanks for your very, very lovely, kind words. It's brilliant. If you're interested in getting in touch with us, use Instagram, Alex Grundon, Chris Nix, City Holloway, Hidden London Law, and at LT Museum. And more importantly, if you'd like to follow Wallace Sewell's designs, because there's some really cool stuff, it's at Wallace Sewell, isn't it, Ems?
Yes.
Lovely stuff. So loads of Instagrams to go out there. As I say, a few moquette suggestions for you if you want to buy a bit of history from the Transport Museum as well. As always, like, subscribe and comment down below on this YouTube video. And thanks very much indeed for watching. We'll be back in another station very, very shortly indeed. But in the meantime, have yourself a great day and stay safe.